But these videos really just kind of are my ride or dies, the cream of the crop, the very top of the top, okay? Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I cannot believe it's already this time of year. I'm gonna be doing my very first video out of my Best of Beauty series that I like to do every year. I'm so excited to be sharing with you guys my best drugstore finds of 2019. I feel like this year I discovered so many incredible drugstore makeup. A lot of this stuff launched this year. I feel like there was a lot of good things at the drugstore that launched, but some things might have been things that have launched like in the past couple of years that I tried out this year and loved. Regardless, I am so in love with every single thing that I pulled together. I'm going to be separating it into categories and we'll go in order to try to keep things as organized as possible. I have a lot to talk about, so I don't want to waste too much time in this intro. Everything will be listed and linked down below if you guys are looking for something new to add to your collection from the drugstore. There are so many incredible things at such affordable, amazing prices. So let's just get right into it. Oh, I should mention that this will be my first video and then I will follow up with a high-end version of this video, and then I always like to do a hair, skin, and nails version of this video as well. So I kind of just do a nice roundup. These are kind of like the Allie Awards, you know? A lot of you guys may have seen that I do the Allure Best of Beauty Awards every year where I try out products that they give awards to. So this is like kind of my version of that. This is what I would give awards to. So yes. Okay, now we'll get started. We're gonna start off with brows. My favorite brow pencil that I came across this year from the drugstore is the Maybelline Brow Ultra Slim Pencil. I love to use the shade medium brown. I just love how this applies. The texture of it is perfect. I can create those feathery brows really easily and it lasts all day in my brows, so I love this. I also have been loving the Glossier Brow Flick. This is like a felt pen. By the way, you guys, I always include Glossier in my drugstore. I know some of the prices are a little bit higher. It's kind of like an in-between brand, so I am including some Glossier products in this video. But anyways, this is really great for creating those natural hair-like strokes in the brow. I'm not wearing it today, but maybe I'll add just a couple in my brow to kind of show you. This is amazing. I get compliments every single time I wear this. It takes a minute to get the hang of, but once you do, if you're like me and you don't have too many brow hairs, this is amazing for creating those brow hairs to make it look like you have more brow hairs than you actually do. So I love this. My favorite brow gel that I came across this year is this right here. It's the NYX Bear With Me Brow Setter. I love to run this through my brows and then I'll take my finger and kind of press it down into the skin and it creates that trendy looking soap brows kind of an effect. I really love this. So I knew I was going to include it in this video. Moving on to complexion, we're going to start off with primer. For more of a glowy and smoothing primer, I have loved this one pretty much all year since I tried it. This is the Milani Soft Focus Glow Complexion Enhancer. I personally like to use the shade 01 Nude Glow. It has cucumber, rose water, and hyaluronic acid in here, so it's going to really smooth, hydrate, plump, and make the skin really glowy. It has a nice finish that way, and it looks beautiful underneath foundation, so this is one of my favorite drugstore finds this year. I also love this right here. It's the Neutrogena Prep and Correct Primer. This is the tone correcting one. They launched with like 3 of these, but this peach one has to be my favorite. This is really amazing for just evening the skin tone, and that's something that I really struggle with. I get a lot of redness from hyperpigmentation, but I don't always like to use a green correcting primer to cancel that out. So I've loved this one because it just kind of tones everything down, and when I'm doing more like no makeup looks, this is a good go-to to just kind of even things out before going in with foundation, because then I don't feel like I need as much foundation. The texture of this is beautiful. It wears amazingly well underneath any foundation, so this is a great one as well. The e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer would have to be my favorite for like concealing pores or just texture. I love this so much. I just take the tiniest amount, a little bit goes a very long way, and I'll just press it into the T-zone if I'm going for a little bit more of a glam look and I want that soft filtered focus effect in the center of the face. This is really beautiful and I've loved this as well. I'm going to be moving pretty quickly through these videos just because I have so much to talk about. Just know that I love every single one of these, and even if I don't get to go in depth with all of them, I still stand by them. And also, I tried so much makeup this year, so in all 3 videos that I'm posting, especially the makeup ones, there are definitely more products that I enjoyed this year, but these videos really just kind of are my ride or dies, the cream of the crop, the very top of the top. Okay, so I wanted to kind of clarify that as well. All right, let's move into complexion. This is definitely more of a recent find for me, but I wanted to include it in this video because it offers a different type of texture and finish compared to all the other foundations that I've loved this year. It's the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. This has to be like my favorite lightweight complexion product of the year. I love this for running errands, but I also love to put it all over the face and then spot conceal for a more glam look. And it just makes my skin look so fresh, and it feels so hydrating, and it does not feel heavy at all on the skin. I wear the shade Fair 4N, and this is incredible. I love the packaging on it too. So I knew I wanted to share that with you guys. Something with a little bit more coverage, but this is something that I've equally enjoyed all year long, is the NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil. This is so incredible for both everyday and more glam looks. It's kind of the same idea with the tinted moisturizer. This has a little bit more coverage than the Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer, but I feel like I can build it up to make it look really glam if I want to, or I can do a really sheer layer, and it just looks so good on the skin. It wears so beautifully on the skin. This is definitely one of the best complexion products that NYX has ever launched and that the Drugstore launched this year. It is so beautiful. I wear this in a couple shades. This one right here is Vanilla Nude, but I kind of alternate between a couple depending on the time of year, but this is so gorgeous. I love it. Another NYX foundation that is super glowy if you're into more of a dewy finish is this right here. It's the Born to Glow foundation. I wear the shade Vanilla. You guys, this is such a beautiful dewy foundation, and it wears so beautifully on the skin. I've been so impressed by this as well. NYX really killed it with these two foundation launches this year. I can't get enough of either. They're so beautiful. This one definitely has much more of a glowy finish than this one, even though this one's hydrating. And I would say that this has a bit more coverage. I love both equally. I don't know if I could choose between the two. Something that I kind of rediscovered this year is the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Liquid Makeup. Sometimes these classic products are truly the best. I used this before I started my YouTube channel, and if you go back to my very first video, this is the foundation that I used. I reached for it a few times earlier this year, and I started to incorporate it regularly back into my routine. It is just such a beautiful go-to foundation for me. It's just the best like balancing foundation. It has just the right amount of coverage. You can build it up if you want to, or you can sheer it out. It has SPF 20, but the SPF is all physical sunscreen, which is something that I personally look for in a foundation. It's just gorgeous. It's so pretty. The one thing that I wish that would change is I wish it had a pump, because this packaging does get a bit messy, but this is definitely something that I reach for this entire year all over again, and I wanted to mention it in this video because just because it didn't launch this year does not mean that it wasn't something I used all year long. So this was incredible. I think this next foundation is probably my most surprising affordable find of the year. It's this right here. It's the Believe Beauty Skin Finish Foundation. Now this is a dollar store foundation, so it's only $5. I wear mine in the shade Nude. This is actually the foundation that I chose to wear all over the skin today. It is truly one of my very favorite foundations of the year, and it just so happens to be only $5. It's incredible. The packaging is great. It has a glass bottle with a pump, so it's really great for easy application. I have just been so impressed by this. This wears incredibly well on my skin, better than so many of my high-end foundations. I can't say enough good things about this. If you have a Dollar General near you, you have to go check this out. It's a Dollar General exclusive, so I knew this was going to be in this video, and you guys probably could have guessed it as well. The last foundation is probably the most full coverage foundation out of all the ones I'm going to share with you, but it is so incredibly amazing, and I'm sure you guys probably agree with me. I know so many of you guys have tried this. It's the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation. Now, even though this has pretty good coverage, like you can build it up a lot and you can get really good full coverage with it, it never looks overdone. It wears so insanely beautifully on the skin. I love the packaging on this as well, with the glass bottle and a pump, so you really get what you pay for with this. It's the most beautiful foundation from L'Oreal, I think, to this day. I've enjoyed a lot of their foundations in the past, but this one definitely tops them all, and I know so many of you guys have loved it too. The shade range is great on this as well. For concealers, there are two concealers that launched this year that I absolutely love. Now keep in mind, there are still some drugstore concealers that are older in my collection that I still have been using, like the Maybelline Age Rewind and the Maybelline Fit Me, but these two launched this year and I just love them. The first one is the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer, and then we have the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear. Both look very similar, as you can see. Both kind of are Shape Tape inspired. However, I actually like these more than Shape Tape for a number of reasons. I feel like they're a little bit thinner, and a little bit goes a long way, so you definitely don't need to load this up too much. But if you just dot the tiniest amount and blend it out with a sponge underneath your eye or over blemishes, you get the most flawless, beautiful, long-lasting concealer, both underneath the eyes and on blemishes. So these are definitely my top two concealers of the year. Both of them are so good. I don't know if I could choose between either. I get use out of both, so I wanted to make sure to mention that. All right, let's move on to setting powders. I love this one from Wet n Wild. This launched this year, I believe, and it's the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Powder. This is the powder that I'm wearing to set my foundation all over the skin. I love this so much. It has a really nice large component, so you can dip your sponge in there if you're somebody who likes to set your face with a sponge. I love this. I think it's such a good drugstore powder. It's one of the best, if not the best, loose powder at the drugstore, and it's from Wet n Wild, so it's so inexpensive. I definitely knew I wanted to shout that one out. Another favorite powder of mine from this year has been the Glossier Powder. They came out with different shades, so I finally found one that worked perfectly for me. The other one was a little bit too deep, but G11 to G12 is my shade. It is such a beautiful, no makeup powder where it just doesn't look like you're wearing powder on the skin. So if you're somebody who's afraid of looking powdery or overdone, but you know you want your makeup to last a long time, this is an incredible powder for that. A lot of you guys know this year I got really into finishing powder, so after I set my face with the translucent powder, I usually like to go in with a more luminous translucent powder to kind of bring back the life and bring back the glow into the skin, and this one's an amazing one from the drugstore. It's the Milani Prep and Set and Glow Illuminating Translucent Powder. Again, I don't use this straight out of the pan to set my entire face over foundation. I always use it over top of a powder. That way it distributes more evenly and you don't end up looking overly glowy, but I love this so much. If you're looking for a finishing powder at the drugstore, this is incredible. And this is not a new product by any means, and it's still in the same old Ziploc bag, but the Rimmel Stay Matte Transparent Powder, the pressed version, is by far the best mattifying powder at the drugstore still to this day. This has won awards in my book for years now. Nothing tops this right here. So I knew I wanted to mention that again, even though it's not a new product. It's still the best mattifying powder I've ever tried, even including like my high-end mattifying powders. I love that one. Okay, we're moving right along to bronzers. I feel like this year was the year of bronzers. I found so many bronzers, both at the drugstore and at Sephora and Ulta, which I will share with you guys in my next video. But I have incredible bronzers that I discovered this year at the drugstore, and oh my gosh, they are amazing. Like, they're way better than so many of the high-end bronzers I've tried. The first one I want to share with you are these right here. These are from Flower Beauty. These are their Heat Wave Luminous Bronzers. I personally love to use both of these shades. So this shade is Sunrise L1 and this one is Sunswept M1. So this one has a bit more of a cool undertone, so if you have more fair skin, you might want to just use this. This one definitely has more of a warm undertone, so I like to mix them for that reason. I like to kind of contour and sculpt with this one, and then I add warmth where I want it with this one. So I layer the two. They are stunning. They're a baked formula, and they give the skin a little bit of a sheen. So I especially use these a ton in the spring and summer. I mean, I still use them now, but they just give that gorgeous summery glowy effect. Plus it looks beautiful, like a high-end bronzer in my opinion. I love the marbling in these. I love the baked formula. These are just to die for. So my next favorite is from Maybelline. They launched the City Bronzers this year. This is just the most beautiful tone for fair skin. This is not the only shade that they launched with this formula, so if you have a deeper skin tone, you can find this formula in a shade that works better for you. But this is the shade 100, and it's just such a beautiful shade for all over if you're just on the go. This is a matte finish, so if you like more matte bronzers, you would love this. This reminds me a lot of the Hoola Light Bronzer from Benefit. In fact, they are very, very similar. I love both of them, and this is definitely a wonderful matte light bronzer from the drugstore, so I got a lot of use out of that this year, and I still do. My top number one bronzer from the drugstore, though, is from Milani. This is something that I discovered a little bit more recently than those other ones, but this is so good. This is the one that I'm wearing all over my skin today. It's the Milani Silky Matte Bronzing Powder. This one comes in multiple shades as well, but I love to use 01 Sunlight. You guys, this is so beautiful. This solves all of my problems. It just blends out like a dream. It makes my skin look warm, but not too warm or orangey. It contours my cheeks. It makes my skin look healthy. This is definitely more of a matte bronzer as well, but for some reason, I feel like it adds a little bit of like a glow to the skin. I don't know. I could be totally making that up. It might just be me. I don't know, but I feel like it adds a luminosity to the skin. Not anything sparkly, but it never makes my face look dull or drab. I love this. It's an incredible bronzer, one of the best bronzers I've ever tried. So I'm very impressed by my bronzer selection from the drugstore this year. If you're looking for a new bronzer, any of these I feel like anybody would love. So I wanted to share those. All right, we're hopping into blush. I love blush. I'm gonna start off with ColourPop. I fell in love with the two blushes that Kathleen Lights created with ColourPop. These two being my favorite. This is I Need Space and Lunar Has It. I got so much use out of both of these, but I especially loved this one right here called I Need Space. It's just the perfect mauve-y, shimmery blush that just adds life back to the skin. If you're somebody who likes something a little bit more neutral, and if you're not really a huge blush person but you want some color on the cheeks, this is a beautiful one. And this one is called Lunar Has It. So love those formulas, love that color. I have two cream blushes that I discovered this year that I've really enjoyed. Now, I don't wear cream blushes often, but when I do, I love the fresh appearance that it gives my skin. Both of these blushes are from Honest Beauty, and these are my two favorite shades. We have Rose Pink, which is much more of like a nudie pink, and then Peony Pink, which is more of like a corally pink. I got a lot of use out of both of these, especially this one. I got a lot of use out of this one in like the spring and summer when you want that more fresh, dewy cheek look. These are beautiful blushes and they work really well over powders, so I just take my sponge and just kind of press them on the apples of the cheeks and they bring life back to the skin, and they also make it look like you're not wearing as much powder. So amazing blushes from Honest Beauty. This is definitely more of a recent discovery, but I can't wait to try more from this line. This is from Revlon. It's the Rosy Rendezvous blush, and it's just the most beautiful kind of muted mauve tone. I've been getting so much use out of this. I've been traveling with it. The formula is beautiful, so I knew I wanted to mention that one. And then this last blush is more of a throwback, but I got so much use out of it again this year. It's the Maybelline Fit Me blush in the shade Pink. It's just a great classic basic pink blush. It brings life back to the skin. I love it especially in the winter and like the spring. I don't know why a good like bright pink blush is my favorite in the winter time, but it just is. I feel like it brings that life back to the face in the colder months. So those are all the blushes that I wanted to share. All of them, 10 out of 10, so good, love them all. All right, next we're gonna hop into highlighters. The first highlighter is probably my top highlighter of the year. This is the one that I got the most use out of, hands down, both drugstore and high-end included. I'm sure some of you probably could have guessed. It's the Honest Beauty Midnight Reflection Luminizing Glow Powder. Here's what mine looks like now. You can definitely see I've gotten quite a bit of use out of it. I love this so much. This is the highlighter I'm wearing all over the skin, especially down the center of the face. I do have a cream highlighter layered on top of it on the cheeks, which I'll share with you in my high-end video. But this is probably my favorite highlighter for every day. I am obsessed with this one. It's very, very similar to my favorite Essence Pure Nude highlighter, but it just has a little bit of a different tone. This one's a bit more champagne gold, where the Essence one has a slight pink undertone. I still love both equally, and I shared the Essence one in my last year's Best of Beauty, so this is just the best. It's a beautiful baked formula. I never feel like I go overboard. I love the fact that I can build it up and it doesn't look like too much. It just melts into the skin and it looks like it's coming from within my skin, which I'm obsessed with, so I knew I had to share that one with you guys. I also became obsessed with this highlighter palette because of you guys. Two of the shades I get the very most use out of by far, and they're these two shades right here. I usually love to mix the two, and they're beautiful. They definitely have a more intense finish, but they melt into the skin. They look very natural. So thanks to you guys, I discovered this year, and I love those two highlighter shades out of the palette. I also discovered this right here. This is also from Believe Beauty, so this is the dollar store brand, and this is their Radiant Finish highlighter in the shade Champagne Kiss. It's stunning. It's one of the best like golden highlighters that I've ever found for fair skin. A lot of times I can't go with a gold highlighter because it just looks too dark and streaky on me, but this works for some reason. I love it. From Glossier, they launched their Glossier Play line this year. And this is one of the most incredible formulas I've ever tried. This is their Night Shine Highlighter Concentrate, and this is in the shade Pale Pearl. This looks so amazing on the skin for both everyday and also for more glam looks. I just take the little applicator and dot it all over the skin, and then I just blend it out with my fingers really gently, and it blends over top of powders really well. It just makes the skin look absolutely incredible. This is one of my very favorite highlighters of the year. I feel like it's so underrated and not too many people are talking about it anymore. I feel like a few people talked about it when it first launched, but then everyone seemed to forget about it, and it should not be forgotten about. It's insanely beautiful. I love it. The last highlighter I actually finally got to try this year. This is not a new product by any means, but it was a new product to me this year, and it's become an absolute staple in my drugstore or affordable routine. This is the ColourPop Super Shock Cheek Highlighter in the shade Lunch Money. I love this one. I had heard so much about this for years, and then I finally got to try it this year, and I'm so glad I did. It's beautiful, especially for fair skin. It's just the right tone and texture. There's not any glitter in here. There's a theme with all these highlighters. I really like something that will build up. I don't want my skin to have a glittery stripe on the side. I really like highlighters that make my skin look super healthy, and that's what all of these highlighters do for me, especially this one. I like to apply this one with a sponge. It's beautiful on all the high points. So yes, those are my favorite highlighters. All right, moving on to eyeshadow. I discovered a couple amazing brands this year, one of which is Profusion Cosmetics. They made some of my very favorite eyeshadow palettes of the year. I have 3 of them specifically that I love the most. The first one that I ever tried was Temptress. I don't know if this is still available, but I wanted to share it because this is what kind of sparked my love for the Profusion palettes. These are so affordable. These are all like $10 at Walmart, and I believe Target sells them too. But the other palette I loved this year was the Wanderlust palette. This one definitely has a lot of neutrals and also a lot of colors, so I loved that one. And then they started to put pressed glitters in their palettes, and I really loved that out of the Mirage palette for fall. So I just love Profusion eyeshadows in general. I was so impressed with their palettes this year. Every single one that I picked up and tried, I loved, and I tried out in videos, and you guys saw I loved them as well. I was able to make so many beautiful looks with these palettes this year, so I knew I had to mention that. Another brand that I discovered this year that I really fell in love with was Alter Ego, and I have 2 palettes from them that I love so much. So Alter Ego creates dupe palettes. I made videos about these palettes throughout the year. This is a dupe for the Natasha Denona Gold palette, which is one of my all-time favorite palettes. I love this so much, and it's great to have a more affordable option, not just because it's less expensive than the gold palette from Natasha Denona, but also I found myself traveling with this a lot because I didn't want to risk breaking my really nice high-end palette. So if I wanted the same effect that the gold palette gave me, I would just take the Goddess one, and it literally does the same thing for me. It's beautiful. I love this. The other palette that I got the most use out of from them this year was definitely the Sahara palette, which is a dupe for the Natasha Denona Biba palette. So it's an amazing neutral palette. It's beautiful. So I really enjoyed those this year as well. I also, of course, have ColourPop palettes to talk about. Eyeshadows from ColourPop are some of my very favorites. And one of my favorite palettes that launched this year was the So Jaded Kathleen Lights and ColourPop palette. This is so beautiful. I'm wearing a few of the shades on my eyes today. I'm wearing this one in the crease. I'm wearing this one as more of a transition, kind of layered on top of that first one. And then I also have some of this pressed glitter on the outer portions of the eye. I mixed a lot of eyeshadow palettes today because I have a lot to share with you guys, and you'll see the rest of them in my next video. But this is a beautiful palette with so many finishes and textures, so many different colors. I was able to create really amazing like neutral everyday looks, but also basically any look you could ever create ever. You guys know how much I love like ethereal looks. I also created a ton of those using this palette, so I love this one. This palette and this collection was one of my favorites from the year. I loved this whole vibe. This palette I got so much use out of in the spring especially. It's the ColourPop Sweet Talk palette. Like this whole packaging and the whole collection was beautiful, but I really enjoyed this palette. I love these tones in spring and summer, and I got so much use out of these. I seriously love this. I made videos on this, and you guys probably saw me do several tutorials using this palette, and I love it still, and I knew I wanted to share it with you because it's definitely an award winner in my book. The last palette I wanted to share from ColourPop is this one right here. This stole my heart as well, just as much as the Sweet Talk palette. It's the California Love palette. I just barely posted another tutorial using this, so I will have that link down below if you guys want to see it. But oh my gosh, such a beautiful, neutral, warm tone look. There's also a pressed glitter in here too if you want to amp up the look and make it more glamorous. This is such a good palette and at such a good price. Okay, I have 2 other eye products. The first one is this right here. It's the Almay Velvet Foil Cream Shadow, and the specific shade is 020 Cupid Glaze. This is such a beautiful one and done eyeshadow if you just throw bronzer in the crease or even some blush, and you take your finger and you just take a bit of this and press it on the eyelid. It makes the most beautiful light pink sparkly kind of a finish, and it's just the best. Like, I love this. What an amazing product this is. Everyone should try it. It's beautiful. I still have yet to try the other colors. I hear that this one is the best, but I still want to try them for myself to see if there's other shades that I might love as much as this one. So I knew I wanted to mention that. This is another product that I discovered thanks to you guys. This was suggested in one of the videos where I tried out your Holy Grails, I believe. And this is the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Highlighter. So it's like a brow pencil. It's supposed to highlight underneath the brow. But you guys taught me to use it in the waterline and it's absolutely stunning. It's from Wet n Wild, so it's so extremely affordable. And it's one of my favorite pencils to brighten up the waterline, drugstore and high-end included. So I've been absolutely loving that this year. I wanted to mention 4 mascaras that I can't get enough of. I'm wearing 2 of them on my eyes today. The first one is the NYX On the Rise Volume Lift Mascara. Now this is a mascara that takes a minute to build up, but once you do, it's absolutely insane. This is the mascara that I'm wearing on my top lashes. I have about 3 coats built up and it is so beautiful. It does not smudge or flake on me. It really does lift the lashes, and the applicator on here allows the lashes to stay separated so you get the drama but they don't clump together. It makes it look like you're almost wearing false lashes, so I love that one. Another one that I love so much that launched this year is the CoverGirl Exhibitionist Mascara. This is a beautiful mascara for just like a ton of volume. I love this one. You guys have heard me talk about it so many times on my channel. So that's another incredible one. For more natural lashes, I've loved the Believe Beauty Voluminize Mascara. That was hard to say for some reason. This definitely is something that you can build up if you want to, but I prefer to use it on more natural eye makeup days, and it's stunning. It does not smudge or flake on me as well, and it's from the dollar store, so it's very affordable. This is one of my favorite discoveries of the year. It's the ColourPop BFF mascara, and this is specifically in the shade Brownie Points. It's a brown mascara and it's just amazing. I used this on my lower lashes today, which I like to do sometimes if I want more of a soft look on the lower lashes, but I also love to use it on both the top and bottom lashes, and it just creates a really nice soft definition in the lashes. It's incredible. I love this. I know I've talked about it so many times. I wanted to mention a pair of false lashes that I really love from the drugstore. This is saying something because I do not use false lashes very much, and if I do, I usually try to use individual lashes, but this is a strip lash that I absolutely love, and it works really well for me and my taste and my eye shape. I'm not wearing them today so that you could see the mascara, but these are the Kiss Ritzy lashes, and I love them because there's some brown and black kind of intertwined here, so it looks very natural, very wispy, and I don't know, it just like fits beautifully on my eyes. It's hard for me to find lashes that don't compete with my natural lashes and also aren't too heavy for my eye shape. These are amazing. We are on the home stretch, my friends. I have lip liners and lip products to talk about. A lip liner formula that I fell in love with this year is the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner. I love the shades London and Sandstorm the most. It's just a great lip liner from the drugstore. They have a more matte finish, but it's not super drying. I actually prefer something a little bit more matte. I feel like it lasts a longer time on my lips. So I wanted to mention that as well. The other lip liners I got so much use out of this year are these from CoverGirl. These are the Exhibitionist lip liners, and I love the shades in the nude and caramel nude. I got the most use out of these 4 lip liners from the drugstore. They're beautiful. I found a new favorite liquid lipstick from the drugstore, and they are from Honest Beauty. They came out with a whole range of colors, but I love these 2 specifically, BFF and Forever. I get a lot of use out of BFF. It's just a really good nude color. And then I love a good purpley undertone in my liquid lipsticks, so Forever is also another one of my favorites. But these are great. They have a really good clean formula. They last beautifully on the lips. The key is to use a thin layer with these and to let them dry down for like an hour, and then they'll last all day. They don't dry down immediately, which I actually kind of prefer. It takes a little bit longer for it to set, but they are so beautiful. I love the shade range. I love like all the colors they came out with, but I wanted to mention just 2 for this video. Another product from Honest Beauty that I discovered this year that I love are their tinted lip balms. These are some of my favorite lip balms just in general now, and the 2 shades that I love the most are Summer Melon and Lychee Fruit. I got a lot of use out of Summer Melon. It's just like this pretty pink color right here. In the spring and summer, this was great. It just lived in my purse and I was able to throw it on, and it just smooths out the lips and kind of adds a bit of color, but you don't look overdone. And then Lychee Fruit is definitely more of a nude. This just kind of mutes the lips a little bit, and it's just like a good hydrating lip balm, but then you get that tint and it makes your skin look healthy and alive. Love these. I've got so much use out of them this year. Okay, these lipsticks are some of my favorite lipsticks I've ever tried ever, drugstore and high-end included. I can't get enough of them. These are definitely my most used lipsticks this year. These are the Almay Lip Vibes lipsticks, and I have 3 shades that I love. The first one is this one right here called Go Wild. This is a beautiful kind of pinky nude, great for every day. My next favorite is called Worry Less, which is more of a purpley mauve, which I feel like is really flattering on me for some reason. I love these colors and it's really perfect for the fall. I wear these all year round, but I kind of was most inspired by that shade in the fall, as well as this shade. This was my favorite fall lipstick this year. This is in the shade Never Regret, and it's like a taupey brown. It kind of has another color on it because I mixed it with this one on the lips today. That's what I have on my lips. So I'll swatch it off so you guys can see. It's more of like a beige. This is stunning. The formula is amazing on these. Like, I love these lipsticks so much, and these 3 shades are incredible. Some of my very favorite lipsticks ever, ever, ever. I just can't get enough of them, and they just happen to be at the drugstore. It just makes it that much better that these are so good and they're so affordable. So I knew I wanted to mention those. All right, folks, we've got setting sprays and then some tools, and then we're done. I fell in love with this right here. This is the Pixi Hydrating Milky Mist. It is so beautiful and so hydrating. This has hyaluronic acid. The mist is beautiful on this as well. I'm just gonna add a little bit more to my face. I love the smell of this. It's so good. If you're looking for a good hydrating setting spray, this is awesome. I also have another setting spray that is definitely more recent to my collection, but I'm including it in this video anyway because I literally use it every day. It's the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. So this is another hydrating mist. I love them both. Both are different to me in my opinion. I get tons of use out of both, but I love the spray on this one. It's so fine. The smell of this, you guys, I live for the smell of this setting spray right here. It's beautiful. This makes me so happy. It just sets my makeup beautifully. It never makes my skin feel too dry, and in these wintry months especially, I can't get enough of this. Like, I recently bought this and I've gone through so much. I use this every single day. I love it. And then I also discovered this year. This is the Catrice Prime and Fine Dewy Glow Fixing Spray. It has a few like little glowy particles in the bottom, so you have to shake it before you use it. But when you use it, it just adds the most beautiful dewy effect to the skin without looking greasy or oily. It's beautiful. These really are incredible setting sprays from the drugstore, and you guys probably should try them if you have not already. All right, I've got some tools to share with you. Real Techniques really stole my heart this year. The Real Techniques buffing brush is one of my very favorite foundation brushes of all time now. Like, I used it all year long. It's so good. I actually found this in a set. I will try to link it individually if I can find it down below. I hope they sell these individually now. I'm not sure. In that same set, I believe I got this one though, which is a beautiful brush as well. It's the Real Techniques contour brush. I used it to contour with my cream product today, and it's so good. Like, these two are so good. I also wanted to make sure to mention a Real Techniques set that I picked up earlier this year that I've been recommending to everybody. It was in a favorites video earlier this year. The Essential set, I don't remember what it's called, but it's these 5 products. You get these 4 brushes, which are all so good, you guys, so good, and you get a sponge. And I think this set retails for $20 full price, but I've seen it on sale several times. I would run and get this set, you guys. I use every single brush in here. Every single brush is beautiful. Every single brush I would pay $20 for. Like, I would pay $20 for this brush right here. You can use this for a highlighter. You can use it to set the under eye area. You can use it to put powder on top of your eyelid before going in with eyeshadow. I'm obsessed. This set is amazing. And then I have 2 affordable sponges that I love. The first one being from ColourPop. They launched this year, and it's so good, you guys. I believe it retails for like $7. It's amazing. And then I recently discovered this one right here from EcoTools, and it's beautiful as well. I should have washed these sponges before showing you, but obviously you can see how well loved these are. This is an amazing sponge. The texture is just perfect on this. So it really shows you that you don't have to fork out a ton to get great affordable tools. So I wanted to make sure to share those with you guys as well. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm gonna lose my voice. I've been talking so much. I still have to film my other ones, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my top products of the year as far as the drugstore goes. These really are amazing, amazing products. I used these, I traveled with them. I used these over my high-end options so often. I love everything that I talked about so much. Again, it will all be listed and linked down below if you guys want to check anything out. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. family, you can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. Stay tuned for my high-end version of this video, as well as my favorite hair, skin, and nail products from the year, so those will be coming very, very soon. Leave a comment down below letting me know what your top drugstore product was of the year. That would be amazing. So be sure to comment that down below. I hope you guys found this helpful and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye!